Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and very good day. I dedicated to the panelists of the conference, ICIGI conference team, and my fellow authors. I will be presenting a paper ID 118 with title Unveiling Challenges and Opportunities, the Early Assessment of COVID-19 on Activism, Financial Strategies, and Digital Landscape of most institutions. I will start with the introductions of the research. COVID-19 pandemic. Amid this advancement, not all sectors, especially within the social realm, have experienced seamless transitions. This is particularly evident in the context of most institutions, which face unprecedented challenges when the COVID-19 pandemic struck Malaysia in early 2020. The ensuing restrictions, including mosque closures, reduced congregations, postponed prayers, and diminished charitable contribution, disrupted the traditional role of mosques as center of knowledge, economy, brotherhoods, and community interactions. Strict adherence to social distancing measures further hampered the effective functioning of mosques, compounded by a lack of digital literacy, skills, and financial resources. Second, on mosques and SPMM. Complicating matters, Malaysia's diverse categorization of mosques, such as national, state, royal, district, and community mosques, introduce variation in governance structure that impact their access to resources. Additionally, the existing Standard Penarafan Masjid Malaysia (SPMM) rating system developed in 2028 falls short of capturing the current dynamic. Relying solely on objective indicator, SPMM assesses mosques across domains like governance, activism, facilities, and environments, overlooking the subjective experiences and emotional aspects of committee members, officials, and congregants during disruptive period. For the research objective, we have two research objectives. The first one, how do the pandemic and MCO impact most institutions, activisms, financial strategies, and digital engagement? The second objective is, are there differential impact on these indicators based on the type of most institutions? We move on to the next slide. For this study, we have 4 impacts of pandemic COVID-19 of most institutions. The first one, the pandemic resulted in a decline in physical congregational activities at mosques. However, it concurrently ushered in a surge of individual engagement facilitated through internet resources, digital devices, and social media platforms. Consequently, religious activities such as Al-Quran recitations and Hadith teaching, as well as non-religious programs like meetings, discussions, and forums were transitioned into virtual platform. The second impact is, during the initial stage of pandemic, most institutions encountered financial challenges due to the absence of congregations of Friday prayers and 5 daily congregational prayers, and Tarawih prayers. Nevertheless, the adoptions of online banking and virtual financial mechanisms gradually mitigated these effects. The third one, the study highlighted the adaptability of most officials, instructors, and teachers, which is asatiza, who embrace digital skill to revolutionize their approach to religious education, thus effectively catering to the needs of the community. The last impact is, Social distancing protocols significantly hampered traditional activities, leading to a decrease in sadaqah collections and a noticeable reduction in knowledge-based program and Islamic teachings. Now we move on to the mosque characteristics and their influence. The mosque type is on state, district, and community. The influence is states and district mosques exhibit heightened activity in organizing programs due to substantial financial support from religious authorities and congregational contributions, while urban and semi-urban mosques endowed with greater financial resources have increased capacity to organize activities compared to rural counterparts. Fund size and assets. Mosques with larger funds and more extensive assets exhibit a higher propensity to generate increased income through economics and business activities, reducing dependence on religious authorities' assistance or fund allocation. Educational qualification of committee members. Mosques with larger committee boosting higher academic qualification were bound to generate greater income compared to those with smaller communities possessing similar academic qualification. The last one is governance and performance. A larger fund size enables mosques to execute a greater number of programs and activities, thereby enhancing their financial strength. This financial stability further enables mosques to upgrade their information communication technologies facilities to reach a wider audience and improve administrative process. Okay, for the research gap, drawing various past study, it became evident that COVID-19 pandemic and movement restriction adversely affected most institutions in terms of activism, financials, and digital capabilities. However, existing assessment lacked comprehensive measurement, leaving a gap in understanding. Next, I will talk about research methodology. For the research design of this study is as positivism, cross-sectionals, and quantitative approach. Meanwhile, for research framework, we have three independent variables, consists of activisms, financial, and digital. One dependent variable, which is pandemic, the impact of pandemic COVID-19 and MCO. For the population, the investigation examined the overall count of mosques within a Sepang district by utilizing data from the State Islamic Department known as Jabatan Agama Islam Selangor, JAIS. As conclusions of 2021, the Sepang district comprises of 27 mosques as documented in JAIS portal. So from this population, the sample size for this study, according to consultation with Sepang District Islamic Religious Office and taking into account ongoing health-related restrictions, and a deliberate decision was made to focus the study on 6 specific mosque types. The finalized sample included 1 royal mosque, 1 district mosque, 1 institution mosque, 1 community mosque, 1 community surah with gazetted Friday prayer status, and 1 institution surah without gazetted Friday prayer status. The study's final cohort of participants comprised of chairmen, committee members, and officers associated with these 6 mosque types. For the questionnaire, it consists of 4 Likert scale questionnaires, comprises of 4 parts. Part 1 is on demographic, Part B is impact on mosque activism, Part C, impact on mosque financial aspect, Part D is on impact on mosque digital aspect. For the data collection, Persistent enforcement of various restrictions imposed by government bodies, health agency, and Islamic religious authorities. The data collection methodology employed in this research involved the utilizations of Google Form circulated through the WhatsApp application. Each of 6 most representative was contacted via telephone for initial engagement. Subsequently, the Sepang District Islamic Religious Office facilitated the provision of the information. The net is on the distributions of the respondent. Overall, there are 66 respondents from 6 different mosque institutions in Sepang District. Consists of Cyber 10, Masjid Cyber 10 is 8 respondent, Surau Al-Hidayah 50 respondent, Masjid Imam Al-Shafi'i 17, Surau Al-Sakinah 7, Masjid Raja Haji Fi Sabilillah is 10, and lastly, Masjid Al-Ilmi 9 respondents. With all of this data collected, now we are going to do some analysis on some presentations on the findings from based on the analysis. Okay, from this study, we can say that all of the 3 indicators, which is activism, financial, and digital indicators, have moderate mean score, comprises of 3.26, 2.89, and 2.87 respectively. However, only activism and financial have significant difference on pandemic COVID-19 and MCO, as their significant value is above the threshold, which is 0.015 and 0.065 respectively. Meanwhile, there is no significant differences on pandemic COVID-19 and MCO impact on digital. So, as a conclusion, this study has identified the impact of COVID-19 pandemic and MCO on most institutions' activisms, financials, and digital indicators from the perspective of committee members and officers. In addition, the study has been able to ascertain those impacts towards various types of most institutions. The findings of the study have been able to give a clear picture to all interested parties, especially in Islamic Religious States Council, Islamic Religious State Department, and Islamic Religious District Office in devising appropriate strategy and preparation enhancement for future SOCs. Generally, change, reform, and progress of a society or ummah start from a mosque institution as stipulated by the Prophet of Muhammad. A nation move into digital economics, a collaborative and synergetic efforts of most institutions with multiple stakeholders is essential to improve equity, accessibility, and inclusion of digital competencies among committee members and officers. Various development activities, digital trainings, targeted comprehensive technical aids initiative needs to be provided as an approach toward empowering most institutions' resiliency to deal with the future crisis. So that's all for the presentation. Thank you.